ऑलरेडी इसके बारे में पढ़ा था. अब हम लोग ये पढ़ते हैं नेक्स्ट टॉपिक. नोबेल पीस प्राइज 2023 वुमेन राइट. Recently, Iranian women rights activist A.K. Nargis Mohammadi he was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize 2023. Nargis Mohammadi, a scientist, journalist, human rights campaigner who persistently fight against the oppression of women in Iran and the promotion of the humanitarian freedom for all. Freedom, human right, oppression of women. The selection and reflect the Nobel Committee's growing organization of women who lead the political and the social opposition movement. Global women's rights movement. Different countries have a variety in women's right activism depending upon their histories, nature of state, economic उनकी हिस्ट्री क्या है, nature of state क्या है, economic model, cultural formation and the political form. UN women feminist scholars and activists broadly divide the global movement for women's rights into 4 generations of wave. The first phase emerged in the late 19th and the early 20th century, primarily in the Western countries. Its focus was on legal issues. It was particularly women's suffrage, that is a right to vote. Initially, they called for equal rights within the family, equal pay, access to higher education, equal pay, equal right within the family. Second, it began in 1970s and was part of the wider youth movement that grew out of the expansion of the higher education. And they were inspired by the civil rights movement in the US, opposition of apartheid and the Vietnam War. Activists during the initial stages of the second wave were both radical and the critical. The fundamental shared principle among the various feminist currents was the advocacy for autonomy चाहिए, emphasizing women's entitlement to define their own agendas, even while engaging within the political organization and the parties. Activities of this wave include supporting fair wage and reproductive right campaign, creating women-only journals and the publishing houses. They were inspired by the civil rights movement in the US, opposition to apartheid, Vietnam. Activists during the initial stages of the second wave were both radical and the critical. A fundamental shared principle among the various feminist currents was the advocacy for autonomy, emphasizing women's entitlement to define their own agendas, even while engaging within the political organization and the parties. Activities of this wave include supporting fair wage and reproductive right campaign, and creating women-only journals and publishing houses. Third wave, it roughly spans around the 1980s and the 1990s. This coincided with the gradual entry of the feminists and the feminist ideas into the mainstream politics. Feminist and the feminist ideas. The three significant elements of this wave include importance of policy-related activism, strengthening the policy-related activism होनी चाहिए, strengthening of the feminist movement and the right of advocacy in the global south, consolidation of women studies as a discipline, United Nations 4 World Conference on Women. एक सबसे पहले UN की कॉन्फ्रेंस ऑन वुमेन थी मैक्सिको 1975, कोपेनहेगन 1980, Nairobi 1985, Beijing 1995. These were an important stimulus for policy work and for global feminist interaction. It also saw the creation of the Beijing Platform for Action, a policy action framework inspired by the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination and also saw the creation of Beijing Platform for Action. PFA, a policy action framework में बहुत सारी policies बनाई गई थी, उस पर एक्ट किया गया था. तो policy action framework inspired by the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against the women. The emergence of the interest led to a new brand of social media fueled women's rights movement, and these feminists embraced various social justice issues including the racial equity, immigration reform, reproductive right, environment, LGBTQIA+ right, racial equity and immigration reform, reproductive right, environment. The prominent cases of this wave include Brazil. Feminists involved in effort to protect the right previously gained. India, campaigns around the gender-based violence. Malawi, work of the LGBTQI+ activists to secure justice and recognition. The Brazil, feminists involved in effort to protect rights. These were the feminists involved in effort to protect the rights that were previously gained. India, campaigns around the gender-based violence. The campaigns around the gender-based violence. Gender-based violence. Malawi, work of LGBTQI+ activists to secure justice and recognition. Feminine constitute a face of contentious politics, representing a global social movement that exhibits sustained vitality. While priorities and interpretation, feminists constitute a face of contentious politics, global social movement that exhibits sustained vitality. While priorities and the interpretation may vary, there are notable commonalities in the demand articulated by the feminists across the countries, region, and the decade. This underscores the enduring nature of the gender inequality and the gradual pace of advancement in meeting the persistent demand of the feminist agenda. Contemporary issues faced by the women: social, political, economic. Social, gender role stereotyping, adverse sex ratio. Social, gender role stereotyping, adverse sex ratio, violence against women. Political, underrepresentation in poverty and the state institution. Economic, gender pay gap, denial of maternity leave. About Nobel Peace Prize is one of the 5 original Nobel prizes established by the will of the Alfred Nobel. It was awarded to the person who shall have done the most of or the best of the work for fraternity between the nation, for the abolition of reduction in standing armies, and for holding and promotion of peace congress. It has been awarded both to the individuals and the organization. The first Nobel Peace Prize was awarded in 1901. Okay. Education. Evolution of women's movement in India. The root of the women's movement in India can be traced back to the late 19th century and has transformed over time, involving the multiple stakeholders, including the state and the civil society. Okay, the first phase is foundation was laid in the reform and the anti-colonial movement of the 90th and 20th century on specific such as sati and child marriage. The aim of the movement was centered on including women in public life with better political rights and access to education and employment. During Gandhi era of national movement, women continued the movement for political rights and social reform activities by forming organizations. Second phase. The second phase was the women's liberation movement, which began in 1960s and was concerned with women's liberation and was concerned with the legal and the social equality of women. Legal and social equality. Okay. In the publication of the Towards Equality Report 1974 and the Convention on the Abolition of All Forms of Discrimination Against the Woman 1970, Convention on Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against the Woman 1979, Towards Equality Report 1974 offered the moral as well as the rational base of a new wave of autonomous women movement and manifested both in the activist and the academic sphere. Towards Equality Report exposed the abysmal state of the woman in the contemporary India, manifested in a declining sex ratio, the increasing rate of the female mortality and morbidity, the economic marginalization of the woman, and the evils of the discriminatory personal law, marginalization for mortality, morbidity, sex ratio, declining sex ratio. Significant movement of this phase is the Chipko movement in 1970, which saw the women protest for their right against the environmental economic calamity. The key difference between the first and the second in phase was that the former was espoused by men on behalf of women, while the later was largely led by women and women's organizations such as Self-Employed Women Association Seva. The third phase began in the early 1990s, surging from the new post-colonial and neoliberal world order. The third wave deconstructed the idea of universal womanhood with the focus moving from communal objectives to individual right. पहले community पूरी communal, no individual right. Women are the grassroots of the society. They were provided with the opportunity to be part of the formal decision making and the governance. Grassroots opportunity, formal decision making and the governance. 73rd, 74th Amendment of the Constitution provided 30% reservation of seat for women in the Panchayat and Nagarpalika bodies. Women led the NGO prohibited in a bid to provide support to other women. The movement also took up the rights of Dalit and the marginalized women. Rights of the Dalit and the marginalized women. Fourth phase. Although debated, many claim that the fourth phase of the feminism began around 2012 with a focus on sexual harassment, and many claim that the fourth phase of the movement began on 2012 with a focus on sexual harassment, body shaming, and the rape. Although the fourth was originated in the West, it emerged in India almost synchronously due to widespread use of social media. The key component of this wave was the use of the social media like the #MeToo movement, leading to a local protest and the global outrage. Pro-life versus pro-choice. The Supreme Court rejected the plea of a married woman to abort her third pregnancy, which has crossed 26 weeks. The present case has been filed on the ground that the petitioner was suffering from the postpartum psychosis and was not able to raise a third child emotionally, financially, and physically. Noticing that the pregnancy had crossed 24 weeks, the court stated that the permitting the petitioner to carry on with the termination of the pregnancy would violate the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act 2020, Medical Termination of Pregnancy (MTP) Amendment Act 2020. It allows the termination of pregnancy in the following weeks: up to 20 weeks, available to all advice in a single medical procedure between 20 to 24 weeks, available on specific cases, risk to life of pregnant women, substantial risk of abnormalities to child, subject to advice of 2 MPs, medical practitioner. Period 94, available only on ground of substantial fetal abnormalities on the advice of the medical board. In India, carrying out abortion is illegal under section 312 and 313 of IPC unless it is performed in a manner prescribed under the MTP Act. The court also noted that there was no immediate threat to the mother and that it was not a case of fetal abnormality. These are the only 2 exceptions to admit a pregnancy beyond the outer limit of 24 weeks as per the MTP Act. The 3-judge bench headed by the Chief Justice of India said the court's recognition of a woman's autonomy cannot eclipse the right of the unborn child. Woman autonomy, right of unborn child. The judgment has sparked the pro-life versus pro-choice debate in India vis-a-vis the reproductive right of women. Pro-life, pro-choice. Pro-life supports the demand that the society should support the ability for women to give birth and provide life, and no woman should be driven to have an abortion. Pro-choice stand believe that the woman have the basic human right to decide when and whether to have a children. Arguments of pro-life, arguments of pro-choice. Sanctity of human life. Life begins at a conception, making abortion murder. Abortion promotes a culture in which human life is disposable. Sex selective abortion. sanctity of human life, such as abortion. Allowing abortion may give way to sex-selective abortion as part of the Planned Parenthood support for pregnant women. The solution to mental health problems of parents should be social and familial support and not abortion. Social support, familial support, लेकिन abortion कोई support नहीं है. Religious and moral belief. Many pro-life advocates ground their stance in religious or moral belief that regard abortion as morally unacceptable. Religious and morally. Advancement in fetal development understanding. With the advancement in the medical technology, fetal viability has gone earlier during the period of pregnancy. Okay, social impact. Financial hardship, poverty, etc. may lead to broken homes in case of unwanted pregnancy. ब्रोकन होम, अगर अनवांटेड प्रेगनेंसी है, फाइनेंशियल हार्डशिप है, गरीबी है, तो ब्रोकन होम्स. और पॉपुलेशन ऑफ वुमेन टू मेक चॉइसेस अबाउट व्हेन एंड वेदर टू हैव चिल्ड्रन कैन कंट्रीब्यूट टू बेटर फैमिली प्लानिंग. एक्सेप्शन फॉर स्पेशल केस. प्रो चॉइस एडवोकेट्स ऑफन एम्फसाइज द इंपॉर्टेंस ऑफ एक्सेप्शन फॉर केसेस इन्वॉल्विंग द रेप, इंसेस्ट, or situation where the mother's life is at risk. Quality of life. Forced pregnancy may adversely impact the mental health of the parent. Also, forced birth can have adverse impact on the upbringing of the child. Pro-life versus pro-child debate in India. Under the MTP Act 1997, abortion is a qualified right in India and can't be performed based solely on the woman's request. The judiciary within the legislative framework adopted the careful, very compassionate and nuanced consideration respecting the autonomy of women while acknowledging the welfare of the autonomy of women, welfare of the unborn child. The nuanced consideration, compassionate, careful, CCN. Careful, compassionate, nuanced consideration. Further, the Supreme Court also noted that registered medical practitioners should refrain from imposing extra legal conditions on the women seeking to terminate their pregnancy. Medical practitioners should refrain from imposing extra legal conditions on women. In those advised, the Supreme Court of India ruled that for the sole purpose of the MTP Act, the meaning of the rape must include marital rape. Further, the Supreme Court also extended the right to the safe and legal abortion up to 24 weeks to the unmarried and the single woman. We forward sex education. Children and the adolescents should be provided age-appropriate sex education, which may involve relationship education, fertility awareness education, age-appropriate sex education, relationship, fertility awareness education. It will help prevent the unwanted pregnancies and incident of the sexual violence, including marital rape in society. Reproductive health care. Establish as well as expand the reproductive health care to ensure that every child is wanted, every birth is safe, and every girl and the woman is treated with dignity. Every child is wanted, every birth is safe, every girl and woman is treated with dignity. Every child wanted, every birth is safe, every girl and woman treated with dignity. It should involve expanding the choices as well as the quality of service in family planning, strengthening the midwifery initiative, adoption streamlining. The process of adoption and the removing adoption stigma can ensure better care for the child if parents find child raising difficult. The process of adoption and removing adoption stigma. Process of adoption, removing adoption stigma can ensure better care for the child if parents find child raising difficult. Ensure better care for the child if parents find child raising difficult. Global status of abortion law. According to Center for Reproductive Rights, more than 60 countries, they have liberalized the abortion law over the past 30 years. Only 4 countries, that is US, Nicaragua, El Salvador and Poland, have rolled back the legality of the abortion. Only 4 countries, US, Nicaragua, El Salvador and Poland, they have rolled back the legality of abortion. US, Nicaragua, El Salvador and Poland, there are 24 countries in the world where abortion is completely prohibited. Workplace. Equal pay for equal work regardless of gender. Equal pay for equal work regardless of gender. Better paid parental leave, subsidized childcare, etc. can also help reduce the case of abortion. Equal pay for equal work. Better paid parental leave, subsidized childcare. Need to provide an adequate gap management practice to build process to handle the maternity break. Example, need to provide an adequate gap management structure. Zomato provides a unique support system of assigning an employee to assist new mothers so that they are not always required to be physically present at the workplace. Assigning an employee to assist new mother to handle maternity break. Age of consent. The 22nd Law Commission in its 283 report. 22nd Law Commission 283 report advised that the age of consent should not be reduced from 18 से 16 year. About Law Commission, a non-statutory body is constituted by a notification by the Ministry of Law and Justice, which is reforming the laws for maximizing justice in society and promoting good governance under the rule of law. We have to reform the law for maximizing सबसे ज़्यादा justice मिले society में, promoting good providing maximizing justice, providing good governance and the rule of law. The central government established the first law commission in 1955 post independence with the then Attorney General of India Mr. M.C. Setalvad as a chairman. Central government established the first law commission. Kab 1955 with the then Attorney General of India Mr. M.C. Setalvad as chairman. Since then 22 law commissions have been appointed, each with a 3-year term and with a definite term of reference. The first Law Commission of India was appointed in 1834 pre-independence and as per the Charter of 1833, Charter Act 1833, Law Commission of India, Sabse 1834. Okay, Law Commission received a conference to consider the reducing age of consent from the 18 से 16 साल 18 to 60 लिया. Law Commission received a reference to consider the reducing the age of consent for under the POCSO Act 2012. POCSO Act 2012 was enacted to protect the children from offences of sexual assault, harassment, pornography. The act also provides for the establishment of special court for the trial of such offences. For the age of consent defined as the age at which the one is considered legally competent to consent for sexual activity. Legally competent. The POCSO Act fixed the age of being categorized as a child as a child at 18 years, as making it the default age of consent. Argument: fix the age of being categorized as a child at 18 years. Age of consent in IPC in line with the age criteria provided under the POCSO Act. Section 375 of the IPC was amended by the Criminal Law Amendment Act 2013 to raise the age of consent to sexual intercourse to 18. However, the exception for a man having intercourse with his wife who is not under the age of 15 years remain on the statute book. Exception of a man having intercourse with his wife who is not under the age of 15 years remain on the statute book. This is contrary to the POCSO Act as Section 42A of the POCSO Act, which gives it an overriding effect over other laws, was instituted by the same 2013 Amendment Act. In the case of the Independent Thought versus Union of India, the Supreme Court laid down the exception in the ICP that exempted sexual intercourse between a man and his wife, being a girl between 15 and 18 years from being considered rape. Independent Thought thus exempted sexual intercourse. Rising criminal cases under the POCSO Act. In recent time, it has been witnessed that the registration of the criminal case has been increasing under the POCSO Act. Girls' parents want the police to press charges under the POCSO Act against the accused in cases where the two have eloped or engaged in consensual sexual activity. Rising criminal cases under the POCSO Act. In recent time, it has been witnessed that the registration of the criminal cases has been increasing under the POCSO Act. In recent time, it has been witnessed that the registration of the criminal case has been increasing under the POCSO Act. Girls' parents want the police to press charge under the POCSO Act against the accused in cases where the two have eloped or engaged in the consensual sexual activity. Romantic cases. It will help in avoiding the injustice of adolescent boys is being treated as criminals. Children get mature early. Every male or female near the age of 14 years, due to the social media awareness and easily accessible internet connectivity, is getting puberty at an early age, and they are mature enough to make the right decision. Recognition of sexual autonomy. Sexual autonomy encompasses both the right to engage in wanted sexual activity and the right to be protected from unwanted sexual aggression. Sexual autonomy encompasses both the right to engage in wanted sexual activity and right to be protected from unwanted sexual aggression. Sexual autonomy encompasses both the right to engage in wanted sexual activity and the right to be protected from unwanted sexual aggression. Okay, recognition of sexual autonomy. Sexual autonomy encompasses both the right to engage in wanted sexual activity and the right to be protected from unwanted sexual aggression. Sexual autonomy encompasses both the right to engage in wanted sexual activity and the right to be protected from unwanted sexual aggression. Autonomy covers both the right to engage in wanted sexual activity and the right to be protected from unwanted sexual aggression. Only when both the aspects of adolescent rights are recognized, human sexual dignity can be considered to be fully respected. Adopted global practice. Age of consent raised from 13 to 18 years globally. The age of consent in Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy and Portugal is 14. In England, it is 16 years. The age of consent ranges from adopting global. Age of consent ranges from 13 से 18 साल globally. Germany, Austria, Hungary, Italy and Portugal. Germany, Austria, Italy, Hungary and Portugal is 14. England and it is 16 years. Argument against the decision of age of consent lack emotional or psychological maturity. Due to this, they are not able to make informed decision about the sexual activity. Emotional, informed, psychological maturity नहीं आती है भाई. Physical maturity आ जाती है लेकिन emotional and psychological नहीं. Convergence with the age of marriage. The age of consent and the age of marriage should not be conflicted in theory and practice within the country's social milieu. The two are intrinsically linked. Social milieu. Child exploitation and training. Any education in the age of the content will inevitably reduce the safe harbor provision. child exploitation and trafficking. Any reduction in the age of consent will inevitably provide a safe harbor provision to coerce the minor girl into subjugation, marital rape, and other forms of abuse, including trafficking. Promote child. Any decrease in the age of the consent would negatively impact the age-old fight against the child marriage by providing parents an opportunity to marry off minor girl. Any decrease in the age of consent would negatively impact the age-old fight against the child marriage by providing parents an opportunity to marry off minor girl. Any decrease in the age of the consent would negatively impact the age-old fight against the child marriage by providing parents an opportunity to marry off minor girl. Lowering the age of the consent could lead to dire consequences not only for the health and the well-being of the child forced into early marriage, but also for potentially offspring of such relationship. Okay, recommendation of the Law Commission. Guided judicial discretion. Under it, the court finds that if the relationship between the accused and the child has been intimate, the court may impose any lesser sentence on the accused than the minimum sentence prescribed under the Act. For this, the difference in age between the accused and the child is not more than 3 years. It is also recommended that discretion be used if there is a tactical approval that the accused has no criminal antecedent, bears good justice after the offence. Amendment to the Juvenile J.J. Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. Cases under the POCSO Act in which the both parties are aged between the 16 and 80 years can be dealt with by the Juvenile Justice Board instead of Criminal Court. Cases under the POCSO Act in which both parties are aged between the 16 to 18 years can be dealt with by the Juvenile Justice Board instead of Criminal Court. Cases under the POCSO Act in which both the parties are aged between the 16 and 18 16 to 80 years can be dealt with by the Juvenile Justice Board instead of Criminal Code. The Commission suggests changes to Section 18 of the JJ Act, empowering the JJ Board to dispose of such cases by awarding sentences other than the imprisonment, such as admonishment, community service, counseling, release on probation on condition to maintain good conduct. Okay. Amendment to the Juvenile BS Code conduct of the offences, no criminal antecedent. Amendment to the JJ Care and Protection of Children Act 2000. Cases under the POCSO Act in which the both parties are aged between 16 to 18 years, they can be dealt with the Juvenile Justice Board instead of the Criminal Code. Okay, the Commission suggests the section changes to Section 18 of the JJ Act, empowering the JJ Board to dispose of such cases by awarding sentences other than the imprisonment, such as admonish, community service, counseling, release on a probation on condition to maintain good conduct. Spreading awareness regarding sex, consequences of engaging in sex at an early age, information about the contraceptual and safe sexual behavior, along with awareness regarding the POCSO Act. Engage regarding sex, consequences of engaging in sex at an early age. Spreading awareness regarding sex, consequences of engaging in sex at an early age, information about the contraception, safe sexual behavior, along with awareness regarding the POCSO Act. Child sexual abuse material. Child sexual abuse material. Recently, the Ministry of Electronics and IT issued notice to social media platforms, including Telegram, formerly Twitter, YouTube, to remove the child sexual abuse material from their platforms in India. IT intermediary liabilities guidelines. IT intermediary liability guidelines and a digital media ethics code rule 2021 under the IT Act 2000 lays down a strict expectation from the social media intermediaries that they should not allow the criminal or the harmful posts like CSAM on their platform. Okay, child sexual abuse material. Recently, the MeToo issued notices to social media and ITNA to remove the child sexual abuse material from the platform in India. IT Rules 2001 and the IT Act 2001 laid down strict expectations from social media intermediaries that they should not allow the criminal or the harmful post like CSAM on the platform. What behind the children's silences on sexual violence? Too much exposure to children who have experienced sexual violence. Too much exposure to children who have experienced sexual violence. Denial, self-blame and shame. Respect for elders. Loyalty to family. Okay. Concern for perpetrators. Fear of not being believed. To protect the family from conflict with the community, fear of bullying and mocking, mistrust of authorities. Other forms of abuse are sometimes more hurtful. Okay. So meeting has warned the social media intermediaries that any delay in complying with the notices will result in the withdrawal of their safe harbor protection. Safe harbor protection refers to immunity against the third party consent. Safe harbor protection immunity from third party consent content, implying that it shields them from any legal liability. Safe harbor refer to immunity against third party consent, implying that it shields them from any legal liability under Section 79 of the IT Act 2000. What is child sexual abuse material? Child sexual abuse material refers to any content that depicts sexually explicit activities involving child. Refers to any content that depicts sexually explicit activities involving child. Sexually explicit. CSM are part of online child sexual abuse and exploitation that include activities such as luring children into sexual chats, production, distribution of child CSAM, live streaming, sexual assault of minors, etc. About 4.5 lakh cases of spread of CSAM have been reported in India. Globally, it is estimated that up to 1 billion children aged 2 to 17 years they have experienced physical, sexual, or emotional violence. Emotional violence, physical violence, sexual violence. Impact of the child sexual abuse material on survivor. Guilt, shame, and blame. Survivors might feel guilty about not having been able to stop the abuse or even blame themselves. Mental health. Exposure to CSM can cause psychological stress like anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, guilt, shame, and blame. Survivors might feel guilty about not having been able to stop the abuse. ठीक है, उनको गिल्ट होगा, शेम होगा, ब्लेम होगा, और इवन ब्लेम देमसेल्फ. मेंटल हेल्थ. एक्सपोजर टू सीसम कैन कॉज साइकोलॉजिकल स्ट्रेस लाइक एंजाइटी, डिप्रेशन, post traumatic stress disorder, which leads to lower motivation for academic, self harm tendencies, etc. Social isolation. Childhood online sexual abuse leads to diminished self esteem through harmful messages from abuser, impairs interpersonal relationship, hinder trust building. Guilt, shame, and bitter. Survivor might feel guilty about not having been able to stop the abuse or even blame themselves. Exploitation can cause psychological stress like anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder which lead to lower motivation for academic self-harm tendency. Childhood online sexual abuse leads to diminished self-esteem through harmful messages from abuser, impairs interpersonal relationship, hinders trust building, deepens isolation, loneliness in survivor. To cope with the trauma of the childhood sexual abuse, survivors turn to alcohol and substances and adolescence, often continuing this pattern into adulthood. CSM contribute to a wide range of communicable and non-communicable diseases like sexually transmitted infection including HIV, other health conditions, unintended pregnancies, and induced abortion, etc. Measures taken to the curb CSM IT Act 2000, Section 66E, 67, 67A, 67B of the IT Act impose stringent penalties and fines for the online transmission of obscene or pornographic content including the CSAM. Obscene or pornographic content including the CSAM. Okay. Section 66E, 66E, 67, 67A, 67B of the IT Act impose stringent penalties and fines for online transmission of IT Act 2000, Section 66, 67, 67A, 67B. Impose stringent penalties and fines for the online transmission of obscene or pornographic content, including the CSM IT Rule 2021. It aims to curb the circulation of the CSM on social media platform. As per the Rule 31B, platform must make reasonable effort to prevent user from posting content that is pedophilic or harmful to children. So Rule 4 requires large social media platform more than 50 lakh users in India to deploy technology-based measures, including automated tools to proactively identify information that depicts child sexual abuse. Protection of Children Against Sexual Offences Act 2012. It provides protection to all children under the age of 18 years from offences of sexual assault, sexual harassment, and pornography. It provides for stringent punishment which have been graded as per the gravity of the offence. Online child sexual abuse and exploitation prevention investigation unit was set up by the CPI to prove offences covered under the various provisions like IPC, POCSO Act, and IT Act. Apart from the other relevant law, under the NIPF, the government implements a project, namely cyber crime prevention against the women and the children. And for awareness, Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023 places 3 conditions on data processing entities for children's data: obtaining verifiable parental consent, not causing harm to children, parent consent law, not causing harm to children, not tracking or monitoring the children or targeting ads to them. Tracking children, monitoring children, and targeting ads to them. They are not causing harm. Initiated by the social platform. YouTube uses an automated tool called child sexual abuse imagery matched to proactively weed out CSAM. Automated tool child sexual abuse imagery matched to proactively weed out the CSAM. Challenges in countering the child sexual abuse material: lack of limited knowledge and access to India's CSAM reporting platform. Lack of awareness, limited knowledge and access to India's CSAM child sexual abuse material reporting platform leads to a very low number of self-reported crime. In 2020, National Cyber Crime Reporting Portal, National Cyber Crime reporting portal recorded 1102 cybercrime against the children. By contrast, NCRP received 2.7 lakh report of OCA online child sexual abuse was uh, element and from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in 2020 alone. National Cybercrime Reporting Portal, National Crime Record Bureau. Okay, balancing privacy and safety of children. To trace the content related to child sexual social media platform would have to break end-to-end encryption, compromising the security. Awareness नहीं है भाई. Balancing privacy and safety, comprising the security of online communication and violating the right to privacy in Article 21. Anonymity. Offenders exploit the vulnerability or of young children through social networking website and chat space using fake accounts. Anonymity. Offenders, they exploit the vulnerability of young children through social networking website and chat spaces using fake accounts. This makes the identification of sexual abusers, facilitators and prosecution of viewers of child abuse content difficult. Distillate. The increased use of a social media platform, the mass migration to online classes and the use of the educational. The increased use of social media platform, mass migration to online classes. Okay. Anonymity offenders. This made the identification section of user, facilitator and prosecution of viewers child sexual difficult. The increase of social media platform, the mass migration to online classes and the use of the educational apps can also negatively impact the children. From 2019, cybercrime against children rose by 400% due to the COVID-19 and shift to online modes of the services such as education. Nearby 90% of these crimes involved the publication or the transmission of the CSAM. Cyber crimes against children increased 400% due to COVID-19 shift to online modes of the service such as education. Nearly 90% of these crimes involve the publication or transmission of CSAM. Before. Okay, what can you do as an adult? Protect child's identity, report inappropriate images, use a secure internet connection, be mindful of privacy setting. Social media campaigns regulation. Social media company, they can implement the proactive measures such as content moderation algorithm. Social media proactive measures, content media regulation algorithm, content moderation algorithm, reporting mechanism to prevent the future dissemination of the such content. Also, there is a need to develop a national framework for child online safety to recognize the importance of a safe physical and online environment to promote the well-being of all children and the young people. There is a need to develop a national framework for child online safety. There is a need to develop a national framework for child online safety to recognize the importance of safe physical online environment to promote the well-being of all children and the young people. There is a need to develop a national framework for the child online safety. Develop a national framework. There is a need to develop a national framework for child online safety to recognize the importance of safe physical and online environment to promote the well-being of all children and young people. Target online grooming and preparatory behavior. Identify and combat preparatory child sexual exploitation and abuse activity. Social media companies can implement the proactive measures as a content moderation algorithm and reporting mechanism to prevent the future dissemination of such content. Also, there is a need to develop a national framework for child online safety to recognize the importance of the safe physical and online environment to promote the well-being of all children and the young people. Target online grooming and preparatory behavior. Identify and combat preparatory child sexual exploitation and abuse activities such as online grooming for child sexual abuse. Online grooming is a term used to describe the tactics. Online grooming is a term used to describe the tactics abusers deploy through the internet to sexually exploit children. Target online grooming and preparatory behavior. Awareness. A nationwide awareness campaign through the mass media can generate the necessary public attention toward the issue of the child sexual abuse. Although steps should be taken to integrate the modules on the online child sexual abuse material into the computer service and sex education curricula at school. India should adopt an outward-looking approach and explore bilateral or multilateral partnership to promote the child safety online. Outward-looking approach. India should adopt an outward-looking approach to explore the bilateral or multilateral partnership to promote child safety online. Strategic partnership with countries having a robust mechanism to address the explore bilateral or multilateral partnership to promote child safety online. Australia can be explored. Example: Australia. A specialized approach for children. Enhanced safety measures with browsing can be developed with the aim of protecting children, in particular from peers or adults seeking to engage in harmful sexual activity with children. Enhanced safety measures while browsing can be developed with the aim of protecting the children. Enhanced safety measures while browsing, in particular from peers or adults seeking to engage in harmful sexual activity with the children. Children prolonged usage of social media. Recent survey indicated that 60% of the urban kids spend 3 hours daily in the social media and other online platform. Apparently, in modern society, especially in urban society where both parents are working, parents are unable to provide adequate attention to a child, leading to a modern phenomenon of the iPad kid. It describes a young child who is always glued with their iPad and or their smart devices. Additionally, parents expose children to social media by uploading the sonogram pictures, posting about their experiences in pregnancy, uploading photos of their newborn, on expose children to social media. Digital companies like YouTube or Instagram, with the help of data mining and analysis show content according to the children's inclination in order to attract their attention. Digital companies like YouTube and Instagram, with the help of the data mining and analysis show content according to children's inclination in order to attract their attention. Stimuli from the screen like the color, the sound and the stories change super fast, which can be sensory. Okay, stimuli from the screen like the color, sound and the story, they change super fast, which can be sensory overload, releasing hormones or happiness in children. And school, the pandemic accelerated transition to the digital learning platform without creating awareness about the negative impact. The pandemic accelerated the transition to a digital learning platform. Without pandemic की वजह से digital learning platform without creating awareness about the negative impact. Parents also feel pressure to provide the technological device as most of the work given to after the pandemic is done online. Feel pressure to provide technological device as most of the work given at the pandemic is done online. Children, the digital work help in escape from the real life challenges and stresses and get attracted. Digital world helps in escape from real life challenges and stresses and get attracted. There is a pressure from the peers to use the latest technology and latest games and application. Lack of separate regulation for the adults and the children, stakeholders and their concern. Government and the public authorities about enacting laws to protect against online abuse. Parents and the caregivers are protecting their children from online dangers, online abuse, online dangers. About digital literacy, private sector about creating a safe platform for the children about their right to use the internet. Positive and negative effects of social media on children. Positive cognitive skills. Several other social media applications can help in learning skills like reading, writing, counting, etc. Through the games, universal values can teach children to respect other point of view and start paying more attention to the universal knowledge and values as they interact with people from all over the world. Social skills. Social media provides a great amount of easiness in communicating and interacting with the different people. Interacting, increase access to information. Social media can provide a wealth of information on various topic activity. Children express their creativity, share their ideas. Children express their creativity, share their ideas, showcase their talent through various mediums such as art, writing, or video content. Showcasing their talent. Children express their creativity, share their ideas, showcase their talent through various media such as art, writing, or video content. Children express their creativity, share their ideas, showcase their talent through various media such as art, writing, or video content. Cyberbullying and online influence. Children may become victims of bullying, harassment, exclusion on social media platforms, which can lead to emotional exclusion. Which can lead to emotional distress, anxiety, and even depression. Social media is an easy and potential platform to spread fake, artificial, embarrassing, and hostile information about others. Fake, artificial, embarrassing, and hostile information. Defective social relations. Children can get stressed while making face-to-face contact with the people around and become addicted to social media to communicate with others. Distorted sense of reality. Children have limited capabilities in distinguishing online reality from the actual reality. Facebook depression. Children can become afraid of not having enough likes and losing the perceived online support. Excessive screen time can lead to reduced physical activity, poor sleep patterns, and other health-related issue. Way forward. Parental control. Parents can opt for a parental control setting for internet users. For example, restricting online certain website can get to be viewed on the internet. Parental control setting for internet users. Empowerment techniques include teaching them about the legal boundaries in age-appropriate language, as well as discussing their community's cultural, moral, and ethical norms and expectations. कि norms क्या है, what are the expectation, cultural, moral, and ethical. Updating children devices with the latest software and privacy setting so as to minimize data collection. Government can act and enforce laws and regulations that safeguard children's online privacy and prevent cyberbullying. Government can enact and enforce laws and regulations that safeguard children's online privacy and prevent cyberbullying. Role of internet parents. They can prevent and respond to child sexual exploitation and abuse online by child-centered features and function. Effective reporting and feedback mechanism. They can prevent and respond to child sexual exploitation. And abuse online by child-centered features and function. Effective reporting and feedback mechanism. They can prevent and respond to child sexual exploitation. They can prevent and respond to child sexual exploitation and abuse online. Role of internet provider. They can prevent and respond to child sexual exploitation and abuse online by child central features and functions. Effective reporting and feedback mechanism. Reporting, feedback, child central features and functions. School. They can educate students on the safe and effective use of the internet. Encouraging like Fit India movement should be promoted to encourage the physical activity and inculcate a sense of discipline and teamwork. The Internet Telecommunications Union ITU guidelines of the Child Online Protection 2020. They can be adapted and used by the different countries and stakeholders in a way that is consistent with the national and the local customs and the laws. ITU guidelines on the Child Online Protection 2020. Circular migration. According to several experts, internal migration in India has almost always been circular, with a seasonal flow of migrants from rural areas to the urban areas. Circular migration, internal migration in India. What is circular migration? Well, there is no standard definition of circular migration. It generally refers to the phenomenon of repeated migration experiences involving more than one emigration and return. It means that instead of migrating permanently or temporarily, moving for a period of time to complete any contract-based labor to another location, people move and work is available. It is a phenomenon mostly among the low-income group who migrate to avail of a seasonally fulfilled job in other country, city, or the place. Factors facilitating the circular migration in recent time: modern forms of quick and easy transport and communication, cyclicality associated with agrarian rural economy, cyclicality associated with agrarian rural economy, cyclicality associated with agrarian rural economy, uneven development following liberalization. Uneven development following liberalization. Liberalization के बाद uneven development for cyclicality associated with agrarian rural economic. Increased social network attracting youth to urban area. Increased social network attracting youth to urban center. Job growth in the manufacturing, construction, service sector. What are the benefits? It balances the need for development of a state or a city and simplifies the economic development of the individual, reduces the brain drain by spreading the demand-based internal migration, and encourages the transfer of the skills and the know-how. Brain circulation. Brain drain रोकता है, brain circulation बढ़ाता है, address the labor market shortages by minimizing the permanent population. The growth reduces the risk of income instability by spreading it between the village and city. Income opportunities reduces pressure associated with permanent immigration, such as competition for resources, cultural challenges, illegal migration, etc. Reduces pressures associated with permanent immigration, such as competition for resources, cultural challenges, illegal migration. Circular migrants tend to send more money home as remittances than migrants who do not intend to return home. Circular migrants tend to send more money home as remittances than migrants who do not return to home. Facilitate cultural exchange by exposing individuals to different culture and ideas and practice. तो culture exchange होता है. Tend to send more money home as remittances, reduce pressure associated with permanent immigration, reduce income instability, addresses labor market shortage, reduces balances the need to development of states of the city. What is the challenge of the circular migration in India? Exploitation by the employers, unhygienic and unsafe working condition, absence of social security, violations of the labor norms such as minimum wage, etc. Unhygienic and unsafe working condition. Exploitation by the employer, unhygienic, unsafe working condition, absence of social security, unhygienic, unsafe social security, violation of labor norms, minimum wages, subsistence level employment with limited opportunities for saving or asset creation, but subsistence level होती है, saving asset creation नहीं होती. Limited policy support from the government due to lack of data and under reporting of its sector. Exclusion from the political process in destination areas, driven mostly by the distress and vulnerability, with the majority of the circular migrant being from disadvantaged group. Driven mostly by the distress and vulnerability, with the majority of the circular migrant being from the disadvantaged group and the poor educational background. Interstate migrate. ये है measures for internal migration in India. Interstate migrant workmen. Interstate migrant workmen. Regulation of the Employment Condition of Service Act 1978 and subsumed in the Occupational Safety, Health and Working Condition Code provides for decent working condition, minimum wage, provide for decent working condition, minimum wages, grievance redressal mechanism, protection from the abuse and the exploitation, enhancement of the skill and the social security for the interstate migrant. subsumed in the occupational safety, health and working condition. It provides for the decent working condition, okay, minimum wage, okay, grievance redressal mechanism, okay. It provides for the decent working condition, minimum wage, grievance redressal mechanism, protection from abuse and exploitation, enhancement of the skills and social security for interstate migrant. प्रधानमंत्री जीवन ज्योति बीमा योजना, प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षा बीमा योजना प्रोवाइड फॉर लाइफ एंड डिसेबिलिटी कवर ड्यू टू द नेचुरल और एक्सीडेंटल डेथ. लाइफ कवर, डिसेबिलिटी कवर ड्यू टू नेचुरल एक्सीडेंटल डेथ. प्रधानमंत्री श्रम योगी मानधन पेंशन, प्रधानमंत्री श्रम योगी मानधन पेंशन स्कीम, प्रधानमंत्री श्रम योगी मानधन, प्रधानमंत्री जीवन ज्योति योजना, प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षा बीमा योजना, ओके. जीवन ज्योति, प्रधानमंत्री सुरक्षा बीमा, प्रधानमंत्री श्रम योगी मानधन पेंशन स्कीम. Other social isolation, language barrier, job uncertainty, anti-migrant sentiment in our state, etc. social isolation होता है, लैंग्वेज बैरियर है, जॉब अनसर्टेनिटी, एंटी माइग्रेंट सेंटिमेंट. वे फॉरवर्ड, कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव डेटा ऑन द सर्कल हर माइग्रेंट वर्कर्स कैन बी कलेक्टेड एट द नेशनल एंड द रीजनल लेवल इन पीरियोडिक लेबर फोर्स सर्वे. Comprehensive data on the circular migrant can be collected at the national regional level, periodic labor force survey, providing safety net in the form of the insurance policy at the low cost पे आपको इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी मिल जाएगी, ऑक्यूपेशनल सेफ्टी मिलेगी, स्किल एनहेंसमेंट सेफ्टी नेट, इंश्योरेंस पॉलिसी, लो कॉस्ट, ऑक्यूपेशनल सेफ्टी, स्किल एनहेंसमेंट स्कीम. Coherence and coordination with the central and state government for the regulation of the labor laws by creating an interstate migration council, formulating dedicated government policies to integrate migrant labor force into the formal economic framework, robust protection of the migrant right to address the exploitation and the abuse. Robust protection of the migrant right to address the exploitation and abuse. Robust protection of migrant right to address the exploitation and abuse. Robust protection of migrant right to address exploitation and abuse. Formulating dedicated government policies to integrate migrant labor force into formal economic framework. Robust protection of migrant right. Dedicated government policies. Robust protection of migrant right. Robust protection of migrant right. Global Hunger Index 2023 is released by the Concerned Worldwide and World Health Life NGO from the Ireland and Germany respectively. Concerned Worldwide ये आयरलैंड से, वर्ल्ड हंगर हेल्थ ये जर्मनी से है. ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स इसको, ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स इज अ टूल फॉर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिवली मेजरिंग एज वेल एज ट्रैकिंग द हंगर एट द ग्लोबल, रीजनल एंड नेशनल लेवल. ग्लोबल हंगर इंडेक्स scores are the best based on the values of 4 component indicator. Undernourishment, the share of the population with the insufficient caloric intake. The share of the population with the insufficient caloric intake. Undernourished, insufficient calorie intake. Child stunting, the share of the children under age 5 who have low height for their age reflecting chronic undernutrition. Child wasting, the share of the children under age 5 low height, low weight for their height. Child mortality, the share of the children who die before the 5th birthday, partly reflecting the fatal mix of the inadequate nutrition and the unhealthy environment. Undernourishment as follows: 1/3 देखो, undernourishment 1/3, child mortality 1/3, child stunting and wasting 1/6. ये सब global hunger index severity of hunger scale. Extremely alarming, serious, moderate, low. Key finding of global hunger index, global trend. Since 2015, little progress has been made in reducing hunger, reflecting the combined effect of the several crises involving the COVID-19 pandemic, Russia-Ukraine war, impact of climate change, South Asia and the South Africa south of the Sahara. Little progress has been made in reducing hunger, reflecting the combined effect of the several crises including COVID-19 pandemic, Russia-Ukraine war, impact of the climate change, South Asia and the Africa south of the Sahara. Africa south of the Sahara are the world region with the highest hunger level with GHI scores of 27 points each. India related finding. India is ranked 111 among the 125 countries with the GHI score 111 of 28.7 and is categorized as a serious on the GHI in severity, global hunger index and the hunger scale severity. It marks a slight improvement in India's GHI score of 29.2 in 2015. India had the highest child wasting rate in the world, 18.7, reflecting the acute undernutrition prevalence of 58.1% prevalence of anemia in women aged 15 से 24, 15.1, 58.1. अब क्या है? Issues raised by the government of India, their methodological, their 3 out of the 4 indicators used for the calculation of index are related to the health of children and cannot be representative of the entire population. Child stunting, wasting, and under 5 mortality outcomes to a complex interaction of various other factors like drinking water, sanitation, genetics, environment, and utilization of food intake apart from the hunger. Genetics, environment, and utilization of food. Small sample size. The indicator of the proportion of the undernourished population is based on the opinion poll conducted on a very small sample size. The report lowers India's rank based on the estimate of the proportion of the undernourished population for India at 16.3. User data. The government questioned the use of data for child wasting from National Family Health Survey 5 instead of portion tracker. Data recorded on the portion tracker portal showed the child wasting prevalence of just 7.2 among a total of 7.24 crore under 5-year old whose data was captured. WHO has recognized the portion tracker as an exemplary platform for flawlessly collecting the routine administrative data on nutrition. Government initiative to address the hunger in India. National Food Security Act 2020 recognizes the right to food as a statutory right. Right to food is as a statutory right. नेशनल फूड सिक्योरिटी एक्ट 2013 राइट टू फूड एज अ स्टैट्यूटरी राइट. प्रधानमंत्री गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना plans to provide food grain free of cost to गरीब कल्याण अन्न योजना free of cost to 80 crore poor. Okay, प्रधानमंत्री मातृ वंदना योजना registered women were provided rupees 5,000 at the birth of their first child for the waist support and nutritional food during the pregnancy, during nutritious food during pregnancy and post-delivery period. Poshan Abhiyan National Nutrition Mission. It aims to achieve the improvement in the key nutrition parameters for the children and the women. National Nutrition Mission Poshan Abhiyan. Poshan Tracker. It is a real-time monitoring system that enables the authorities to track progress and identify gaps in the supply chain or service delivery. Poshan Abhiyan National Nutrition Mission. Achieve improvement in the key nutrition parameter for children and women. Portion tracker. It is a real-time monitoring system that enables authorities to track progress, identify gaps in the supply chain of the service delivery. Track progress, identify gap. Eat right movement aim to transform the country's food system to ensure safe, healthy, sustainable food. Food कैसा होना चाहिए? Safe, healthy, sustainable. Track progress, identify gaps, the supply chain of service delivery. Poshan Abhiyan National Nutrition Mission aim to achieve the improvement in the key nutrition parameters for children and women. The Global Hunger Index 2023 exposes the ongoing global struggle against the hunger, intensified by the diverse crises. Ongoing global struggle against the hunger. Exposes ongoing global struggle against hunger. Global Hunger Index 2023 exposes ongoing global struggles against hunger. India's critique of Global Hunger Index methodology underscores the challenge of accurately assessing hunger. Despite Global Hunger Index imperfection, India must address its malnutrition issue. While government initiative target nutrition, a nuanced, comprehensive or diverse factor is vital for effective policies combating hunger and malnutrition. Global Hunger Index 2023 exposes ongoing global struggle against hunger, intensified by diverse crisis. India's critique of Global Hunger Index methodology underscores the challenges of accurately assessing hunger and global struggle against hunger, intensified by diverse crisis. India's critique of Global Hunger Index methodology underscores the challenges of accurately assessing hunger. Despite GHA imperfection, India must address this malnutrition issue. While government initiative target nutrition, a nuanced, comprehensive comprehension of diverse factors is vital for effective policies combating the hunger and malnutrition. Sports in India. In the 19th Asian Games, India has achieved a new milestone by clinching 107 medals, including 28 gold, 38 silver, 41 bronze. More on news. India has been कितने मेडल्स लेके आए 19th एशियन गेम्स में? 107 मेडल, 28 gold, 38 silver, 41 bronze. India has been ranked 4th in the place. This feat surpassed the India's previous best of 70 medals. अभी 108 मेडल. fourth place. China topped the list with 383 medals, followed by Japan, Republic of Korea. Factor behind the improved performance, sport governance. In 2011, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport implemented the National Sport Development Code of India. Okay, 2011 में मिनिस्ट्री यूथ अफेयर स्पोर्ट ने नेशनल स्पोर्ट डेवलपमेंट कोड ऑफ इंडिया. इट एम टू ब्रिंग ट्रांसपेरेंसी अकाउंटेबिलिटी फॉर द फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द नेशनल स्पोर्ट फेडरेशन एंड प्रमोट गुड गवर्नेंस प्रैक्टिस एंड द मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द स्पोर्ट्स एट द नेशनल लेवल. National Sports Federation and promoting good governance practice in the management of sport at the national level. Infrastructure and training. The Sport Authority of India has played a key role in improving the infrastructure, such as establishing stadiums in different parts of the country. Sport Authority of India has played a key role in improving the infrastructure, such as establishing stadium. Efforts have been made to bring world-class coaches, sports doctors and trainers from foreign countries. Budget allocation for sport has increased over the year. For instance, budget allocation for the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sport has increased by 11%. Funding बढ़ गई. इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर स्पोर्ट अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया improving infrastructure, establishing a stadium, world class coaches, sports doctor, trainers from foreign countries. Okay, sport in India are listed in NT 33 list 2 of the constitution and honestly under the domain of the federal state. Current sport governance model in India, Ministry of Youth Affairs and the sport institution like the Sport Authority of India and the institution working towards the promoting sports also training under the Sport Authority of India. Indian Olympic Association has the state Olympic Association and the national and the state sport federation, national sport federation and the state sports federation. For non-Olympic sports, cricket federation like the BCCI are directly affiliated with their respective international board. Okay, role of state. ओके, फंडिंग बड़ा इंप्रूव कर दी हमने, 11% बढ़ा दी. रूल ऑफ स्टेट बढ़ा दिया है. उत्तर प्रदेश डिस्ट्रिक्ट हैव लॉन्च वन डिस्ट्रिक्ट वन इन स्पोर्ट स्कीम. रोल ऑफ द कॉर्पोरेट कॉर्पोरेशन हैव यूटिलाइज्ड द कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पांसिबिलिटी फॉर द प्रमोशन ऑफ स्पोर्ट. कम्युनिटी बेस्ड स्पोर्ट, दे ऑर्गेनाइज लीग्स, फिटनेस क्लासेस. कम्युनिटी बेस्ड स्पोर्ट लीग्स, various fitness classes and community events centered around the sports and physical activity. Earlier, only sports person from a few sports received recognition from few sports, but in recent time, athletes from different fields have been recognized in society, hosting international events. In the recent past, there has also been greater international competitive exposure to Indian athletes. In the recent past, there has also been greater international competitive exposure to Indian athletes with several world-class tournaments hosted at home like the Indian Open Badminton Tournament. Challenges faced in promoting sports. So sports hierarchy. There is a lack of hierarchy in the sport from the grassroots level to the national level. Sports hierarchy. There is a lack of hierarchy in sport from the grassroots level to the national level. Sports hierarchy. There is a lack of hierarchy in sport from the grassroots level to the national level. Lack of hierarchy in sport. Okay, from the grassroots level to the national level. एक second. Importance of physical, mental health, international recognition, soft power, promote traditional culture, promote unity and equality, empower youth, generating revenue and the employment opportunities. Empower youth, generating employment opportunity. Sport hierarchy. There is a lack of hierarchy in the sport from the grassroots level to the national level. For the current model of governance of Indian sport includes lack of accountability and transparency, which creates an environment that is conducive to wide-scale corruption. Sport hierarchy. Lack of hierarchy in sport from grassroots level to the national level. Hierarchy नहीं है, grassroots to national level. The current model of governance in Indian sport clearly lacks accountability, transparency, which creates an environment that is conducive to wide-scale corruption. Sport federations are often dominated by the political associates with little expertise in sport. They are alleged with nepotism and feudalism. Okay. Political associate. Changing nature of society's social activity, increasing urbanization and digitization. They have reduced the avenues and interests of the children to engage in physical activities and consequently in sport. Increasing urbanization, digitization. They have reduced the avenues and interests of children to engage in physical activity and consequently increasing urbanization, digitization, and reduce the avenues and interests of children to engage in physical activity and consequently parents has to choose sport as a profession for the children and focus more on the academic excellence. Poor funding in India approximately rupees 24 per capita per year for sport, which is much less in comparison to the European Union rupees 8,000 per capita sports budget. Psychological support in India. Training is solely sports oriented with little focus on the psychological robustness of the athlete. Regionalism in selection and the facilities. States like Haryana and Punjab, they have better facilities. Sexual harassment, too much importance to the cricket. Initiative taken to promote sports. Top target Olympic podium scheme. It has been instrumental in ensuring a core group of athletes have all necessary personalized support in terms of foreign exposure, hiring of specific courses, coaches training and competition abroad. It is supported by the National Sport Development Fund. National Sport Development Fund. Khelo India scheme, the scheme primary focus is to create a national level platform for athletes to showcase their talent and to identify them for further grooming and financial support. The scheme primary focus is to create national level platform for athletes to showcase their talent. The scheme primary focus is to create national level platform for athletes to showcase their talent and to identify them for further grooming and financial support. Under this, Khelo India State Center of Excellence are being developed in all states. Khelo India State Center of Excellence to SIG. The scheme primary focus is to create national level platform for athletes to showcase their talent. Identify them for further grooming and financial support. Fit India movement promotes physical fitness and sport culture among Indians. It encourages people of all ages to adopt an active and a healthy lifestyle. National Sports University, India's first dedicated national sports university, has been set up in Manipur. National Sports University has been set up in Manipur. National Sports University, India's first dedicated national sports university, has been set up in Manipur. India की फर्स्ट डेडिकेटेड नेशनल स्पोर्ट्स यूनिवर्सिटी India's first dedicated national sports university has been set up in Manipur. Measures required to further improve the sport performance. Sports education are a part of a national curriculum framework. To achieve this, it is important to have the sport curriculum framework drafted, piloted and tested in a few schools, ratified accordingly with suggestions with industry experts and implemented nationwide. Sport associations should be established at the block and the district level, supervising respective sports academies at that level. Sport associations should be established at the block and the district level, supervising respective sport academies at that level. Oversight. Sport professional and sport administration. This would ensure informed decisions are made, resulting in more effective and the knowledge-based policy. Sport professionals and sport administration. Effective knowledge-based policies are bridging the regional disparity. All the state and utilities must be given adequate funds for the infrastructure and other facilities, reduce rural, urban and the rich-poor divide. All the state and utilities must be given adequate fund for infrastructure and other facility. All the state and utilities must be given adequate fund for infrastructure. All the state and the utilities must be given fund for the infrastructure and other facilities, reduce rural, urban and rich-poor divide. Exposure. There is a need to increase budgetary allocation for sport development along with encouragement private participation to develop world-class infrastructure, training, equipment, organizing, conditioning camps and the overseas exposure. Government enterprises including the PSU should be directed to employ sport person on a certain percentage of vacancies. Government enterprise including PSU should be directed to employ sports person on a certain percentage of vacancies. Besides, the private sector should be incentivized such as tax rebate to employ the sports person, recognition and the changing in mindset, increase cover of all sports on TV and other medium. News and short. Draft guidelines for school to prevent suicide. Ministry of Education released the draft guideline titled Umeed. Draft guidelines for school to prevent suicide. Umeed. Understand, motivate, manage, empathize, empower and develop. Understand, motivate, manage, empathize, empower and develop. Understand, motivate, then manage, empathize, empower, develop, serve as a direction to school for enhancing sensitivity, understanding and providing support in case of reported self-harm. Enhance sensitivity, understanding to school for enhance sensitivity, understanding and providing support. Every child matter is the underlying belief in developing the guidelines for the prevention of the suicide. Suicide is a complex interplay on the personal and the social factor. Personal factor and social factor which is rarely caused by the single circumstances or even mental health care act 2020 decriminalize suicide in India. Decriminalize the mental health care act factor which influencing the suicide individual. Adverse childhood old experiences, abuse and violence, addictions to social media, substance use, internal pressures to perform well in life, school, lack of positive relationship with peer teachers, bullying, humiliation, isolation, etc., absence of a school family connect, academic pressure from the school family, conflict and instability, divorce, financial hardship, parental neglect, abuse, ठीक है, pressuring students into preparing for competitive examination, community and society stigma associated with mental illness, sensitized and insensitive reporting of suicide cases in India. Action and towards the prevention of suicide, setting up a school wellness team under the leadership of a school principal, building capacity for different stakeholders, promoting positive school environment by integrating mental well-being in school functioning, promoting positive school environment, integrating mental well-being in school, responding immediately and supporting student at risk. Okay, stressed scheme till now or in financial year 2023-24, the expenditure under the state residential education for student scheme for residential education and for student residential education for student and in high school targeted in high school in targeted areas is rupees 14.94 crore. Ministry for Social Justice and Empowerment central sector scheme may fill the gap in the service deprived supreme scheduled caste dominant areas, provide an environment for the socio-economic upliftment of SCs, benefit high quality free residential education to poor, high quality free residential education to poor and meritorious scheduled caste students from class 9 to 12 to fill the gap in service deprived SCs dominant areas, provide an employment for the environment for the social economic upliftment of SCs. Okay, social and economic upliftment of SCs. Implementing institute, district administration, volunteer organization, NGOs and other organizations. Identification and management of the malnutrition in the Ministry of Women and Child Development on the protocol in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare and the Ministry of Ayush, Women and Child Development, Health and Family Welfare Ayush for addressing malnutrition among the children. The protocol provides detailed guidelines for the identification and management as well as the identify, growth and manage of the malnourished children at the Anganwadi level. The identification of the malnourished children and the treatment is an integral aspect of the mission portion to a portion. Identify करो then manage करो malnourished children and the treatment is an integral aspect of mission portion 2.0 identification and management. Okay, key components of the protocol: growth monitoring and appetite growth monitoring, appetite testing, and nutrition management of malnourished children. In appetite test, children offered food according to body weight. Growth monitor करो, appetite को test करो, nutrition management of malnourished. In appetite test, children are offered food according to their body weight. If the child does not consume 3/4 of the food, they are transferred to the nutritional rehabilitation center. Follow-up care of children who manage to achieve the requisite growth parameters after intervention. Body mother initiative, where the mother of a healthy baby guides the mother of a malnourished child at an Anganwadi center every week. The body mother concept was first used in Assam. Encourages diet diversity and has recommended micronutrients in food. There are 7.7% of the children under 5 years who are severely wasted. 7.7% under 5 years severely wasted. Specs 2023 innovations in WHO Institute address the global vision impairment and blindness. It aims to ensure access to eye care and treatment for access to eye care and their treatment, global vision impairment and blindness. Reporting of the number of the people who receive spectacles in India. There are over 100 million people may lack access to eye care and glasses. Spec 2023 will bring positive changes. Myopia, nearsightedness can be corrected by concave. Myopia, MN, nearsightedness, concave. Hypermetropia, number of farsightedness can be corrected by convex lens. And presbyopia, the gradual loss of eye's ability to focus on nearby object. The bifocal lens is prescribed. Hakki-Pikki tribe. The Hakki-Pikki tribe, they are semi-nomadic tribal group from Karnataka. The community is known as the bird catcher, which is their traditional occupation. The word Hakki stands for bird and Pikki stands for the verb to catch. After their trade of bird hunting was outlawed, they were rehabilitated in the 1970s. They are said to be matriarchal group. They communicate in Wagri. UNESCO has listed Wagri as one of the endangered language. They are renowned for their indigenous medicine. Wagri. ओके, अब ये नेक्स्ट टॉपिक हम पढ़ लेते हैं थोड़ा सा, 1 मिनट